Wow. I think we, as we represent our program, all three of us up here, we would need to first start by just talking about the crowd. And just how grateful. We knew it. People have said the Caitlin Clark effect, and that's probably, has somewhat to do with it. But I also think that our fan base has continued to come out and support us. And so we're once again really just grateful, for that. I thought our guys from the jump were really got after it defensively. I think we made everything very difficult for Caitlin Clark tonight, and that's hard to do. She's a phenomenal player. But I think maybe the most important thing we felt like we did at halftime was we kept Martin, we kept Molly Davis, Stolke, Marshall. We kept them relatively quiet, and that was the key. I don't. Going into it, that did not happen when we went to their place, and I thought tonight, at halftime, we were pleased with the way we had guarded those other pieces that they have on the floor. But I loved you guys, and you guys know this. Monday was really hard for us. Disappointing performance. None of us were happy. We got back on Monday before film. They had a player team meeting, which they have often, and we came out and had one of our best practices of the year. And you could just tell that they wanted to make this thing right tonight. And, there were so many moments, during the game, and we tried to just continue to try to win 4-minute segments of the game. That's what we were trying to do, throughout, especially in the first half, because you got to get off to a good start against Iowa. But incredible performances by, all these guys, and I haven't even looked at the stat sheet, but, certainly Sara and Mackenzie were great, but they would all tell you that they had help. We had 20 assists, which means we're sharing the ball. But I thought defensively we were just terrific. And so really, really proud of, our team and the way they responded.
Questions for our student athletes? Matthew?
Teri.
For our student athletes? Do you have anything for student athletes?
Yeah, so just kind of coming after the Illinois loss, and losing to Iowa by 25 before in January, just kind of what was the message that was being passed along to the team before tonight?
The past is the past, and it's all about how we respond. And I thought we did a good job responding tonight. We got to build off of this. We weren't perfect by any means. They went on runs, but we were able to, contain those and combat those runs. But we're going to get back. We have Northwestern and Maryland left on our schedule. So just keep building off of this and knowing that, we know we're capable of a game like this night in and night out. And we just have to build off of it.
Sara, you're known for being this kind of even-keeled, stone-faced shooter, and you showed so much emotion tonight, even got the tech late in the game.
Jeez.
Just, to have such a big game tonight,
Yes,
it have to have.
What was that all about?
Coach, I don't know.
Just what brought this type of juice out of you tonight?
I just am honestly just having fun. That's really it. I love playing with my teammates. I love playing under this coaching staff, and we all, we put in the work, and nights like tonight really show all the work that we put in behind the scenes. So I just think it's all about our hard work that pays off, and it's fun when that shows.
Mackenzie, Coach was saying you guys made things hard for Caitlin and I. You've played against her a lot and Iowa a lot. They really seem like you guys had them on their heels tonight. Can you just talk maybe specifically what you felt like you guys did so well defensively against Iowa to have that kind of response from them?
Yeah, credit to Caitlin Clark. She's a phenomenal player, phenomenal scorer. We knew she was going to get hers. She was going to get 25, 30, 40 points, whatever it looked like. But we had a goal in mind to, one, make it an inefficient 30, 40 points, and two, keep the others out of it. Don't let Molly Davis get hot like she did last game. Don't let Gabby Marshall get hot. Kate Martin's been playing at a high level lately. We kept her 0 for 6 from 3. She's been shooting, I think, like at a 47% clip. So to be able to do that and just be locked into the game plan that we had in store was the biggest thing for us tonight.
Yeah, for either of you, Caitlin said you guys described your defense as tenacious, and she said, it's really physical. Was that something coming in you guys had talked about, needing to find another level there, and now is the goal to sustain that?
I mean, yeah, that's always our goal, each and every game, to, have defensive intensity like that, not allowing teams for second chance opportunities, making things hard for teams we know we can guard. We'll have a great scouting report. We'll be able to guard their first and second actions, but then, when the play breaks down and they get into iso ball, being able to guard that as well. So all of those things are stuff we rep and work on in practice. So I think that showed tonight.
Mackenzie, you really let loose tonight and had some animated moments out there between like hyping up the crowd, a stare down, I think a shrug. How much fun were you having tonight? And just what was that like?
I mean, Coach said it before the game, just really embrace the moment. We had an incredible crowd tonight. Hoosier Nation showed up for us in a big way, and I was just embracing it. I know that, my attitude and energy, I know my teammates feed off of that. So when I'm able to just be myself out there, which is, an emotional basketball player, I think my teammates feed off of it. And, even if it leads to a technical, I'm kind of okay with that.
Mackenzie, the team had 42 rebounds. That's the second most other than against Northwestern. So how key was that to the victory? I know I've asked you a couple times this season, but getting after it on the boards, how key was it?
It was a big key, especially, I don't remember the exact number, but they got a lot of second chance opportunities on us from offensive rebounds. So really limiting those. Having Sydney back was huge for us, especially down the stretch. She just makes those hustle plays, gives us those second chance opportunities that we really missed. And, we had a bunch of people who rebounded tonight. It's 9, 5, 4, 5, 6. All those numbers are pretty high for us. So just continuing to not let them get those second chance opportunities.
Kenzie, you've been here for a while, and you've seen this game kind of grow and get more of a fan base and more exposure. Can you talk about the growth in the atmosphere and how it continues to kind of push your all's team?
Yeah, I mean, when we have a crowd like that, it's incredible. It not only helps us, but it just really pushes us through. Third quarter is tough, especially midway through that third quarter. You're starting to feel a little bit of fatigue, and the adrenaline you just get from the noise and the fans in Assembly Hall, I can't really explain the feeling. It's really incredible. I feel very lucky and grateful to play in front of a crowd like this who just show up for us night in and night out, and hopefully we continue to draw those type of crowds.
For either of you guys, obviously a lot of emotions coming into this game, and on the court, people have asked you about that. Got a little chippy at times. I'm just curious, how do you regulate those emotions to make sure that they keep helping you and they fuel you and they don't kind of hinder you and make it more difficult to play?
You want to?
Well, you can go.
Okay.
I'm not a big emotional girl.
I mean, we knew they were going to go on runs. We know it's an emotional game. Things are going to happen throughout the game. People are going to say things, do things, but at the end of the day, it's all about the 5 of us on the floor staying together throughout the tough moments, knowing what we need to do. Sometimes maybe we didn't like a call, but just reminding ourselves, just get back on D, get a stop, and just keep pushing forward.
Do you have a question for student athletes, Lou, or coach? Okay, go ahead.
This is for Sara. Just in the last few seconds of the game, and also when the buzzer went off, can you replay your emotions of how you felt knowing this game was in the bank?
I felt like the work we put in the past 2 days prepping for Iowa, it really showed tonight. And like I said, it's always a good feeling when the work you put in behind the scenes shows in games like this. So I was just really proud of my team, and obviously the coaches put a really good scout for us together for this game. And yeah, I was just proud of us all.
All right, thank you.
Good job, you guys.
Teri, just obviously with an atmosphere like this and a game you all really, really needed for, the resume, and just, knowing you needed a big answer tonight after the way Monday went,
Yep.
Your team kept its cool, met the moment tonight.
Yeah.
Just how reassuring is a performance like this in the big picture?
Well, Seth, I'm not surprised. We talk a lot about it's not what happens to you; it's how you respond to what happens to you. And so, again, this is a group that's connected. They're mature. They're competitive. And they care about each other. And so I'm not surprised with, you could just see it brewing in the last 2 days of practice. Tuesday was really good. And yesterday wasn't bad either. And so you could just tell there was a different feel in terms of their focus, how they came in, and probably a little bit more stoic and serious. And not that we're not serious when we're prepping, but you could tell that it was they were going to come out and they were going to give everything they had, and I'm not surprised by it. There might be a lot of people after they watched us on Monday play so poorly question that, but if you're around these guys long enough, you understand the kind of character that they have, and their ability to bounce back.
Yeah, Terry, what did you guys do differently against Caitlin this time in terms of defense? Was it just an attitude in terms of being a little more aggressive and physical, or how did you
Well,
guys approach
yes,
things?
and Mac didn't talk a little bit. We switched what we were doing defensively. We were, in white, we switched more ball screens, off-ball ball screens than we had the first time we played them. Part of it was just how hard we played, how we tried to crowd her and make sure that we were maybe a little bit physical, in her space. But the other thing we did on a dead ball was we face guarded her, and we went into a little bit of a triangle ourselves. That's what they did to us when Chloe got into foul trouble, and so. We switched what we did, and I'm not sure. I'm almost positive that they didn't score, and that was only on dead balls. But again, just enough to keep them out of rhythm. We felt like we couldn't just stay completely man to man the entire game, and so we threw out a little bit of a zone there and tried to face guard her and make her work.
Terry, 38.8% is what Iowa shot in this game, which is your best in a Big Ten game all season. It hasn't been great defensively, and it's obviously you mentioned the want to was there
Sure.
for the players, but how did they transfer the want to do on the court, and how encouraged are you that maybe it's something you can kind of build on?
Well, I hate to keep talking about Monday, but we were not very good defensively, and they knew it. And I think they were frustrated by it. They were a little bit embarrassed by it too. And again, they played terrific, but they literally put their head down and just went at us. And so again, it goes back to how they're built. Their competitive spirit, and just wanting to be better. That's really what it was. They knew that. For lack of better words, we laid an egg over in Champaign, and they wanted to come back and, do it the right way. And, I thought, like I said, it took all of them, and we knew it was going to. We knew we had to come in here confident, too. And we talked a lot about confidence coming into this game right before we tipped it off. Like, I wanted them to be confident that we could get the job done. And, I thought like I said, they performed at a really, really great level for us tonight.
Terry, was there a moment in the game tonight, whether it was a possession or a play or during a timeout, where you kind of realized, like, okay, we're going to win this, and you were able to not necessarily step back, but you realized what your team was going to do?
Sarah hit that, it was in the fourth, and Sid had it in the corner, I think, and threw that extra to Sarah right there on the wing. And you could just tell. I was like, that's the dagger right there. That's the one that we're going to win the game.
Coach, Sydney Parrish being out there, knocking down some of the shots that she made, felt like the crowd really fed off her energy. What did she bring for you tonight?
Right. She I think Mac alluded to it. She's all that energy, effort, hustle player. She's a high IQ kid. Constantly talking on the floor, off the floor, in timeouts. you know, she was it was a shot in the arm for us because we've been, you know, without her for the last 7 games. And she's meant so much. And she was playing so great, right, before she got hurt. So, you know, have her back is really special.
Michael.
I will say this, too, going back to yours. I thought the little, we call it money, the little lob that Yarden threw to Mac over the top, that was a pretty special play, too, because we had ran it, Yarden got deflected off of her out of bounds, and Mac and Yarden both run past me and say, we're running it again. And for them to have the confidence that the two of them were going to make that play happen, I thought that was pretty special, too. So, hi,
Yeah,
Michael.
Coach, how are you doing?
Good.
You know, you guys, in the reveal, which was a week ago, you guys were in the top 16.
Sure.
And I know you probably don't want to get too caught up in those numbers of where you are, but how big is this in terms of you know,
Huge.
making
Huge.
sure you guys are going to host
Right.
in the first round?
Yeah, I think tonight we certainly had to have this win. You know, I try not to look too far ahead at any of that stuff, but you know, I knew that we were part of it. But you know, after you lose a game like Illinois, and you think, oh wow, our backs are against the wall. We gotta get that one on Thursday, and you know, but we got to also finish. You know, on the road at Northwestern. We got to finish at home against a Maryland team that always seems like they start to figure things out in February and March. And then we gotta, you know, start the next season, which is Big Ten Conference, you know, tournament. And so we still have our work, you know, cut out for us. But tonight I thought was a step in the right direction to hope secure that, you know, for our fans here in Bloomington.
Terry, just with the way that the results have gone against top 10 teams, is tonight a big weight off your shoulders as a coach?
You know, I don't know. I don't really think of it like that because the teams that we've lost to are really, really, really freaking good. And, you know, we went to Stanford. We went to Ohio State. We went to Iowa. And if you just think about the Big Ten, this league is really good, and we've said it, and I know I've said it. It's hard to win on the road. It's hard, and I don't know if it's a weight. I just going back to Michael's question. I think we had to have this one tonight to help us with our resume, for sure.
Coach, you mentioned that your team had the confidence, you could tell right at the beginning of the game. How much does that mental and that mentality part play when you're going against these top 10 opponents?
Well, I think it's important, but I think, you know, the lesson here will be we got to show up against any opponent like we showed up tonight against Iowa, you know. Yeah, everybody says there's lessons out of losses, but there's sometimes lessons out of wins too. And, you know, that we are capable of a lot, and with that means that we gotta bring it every night. And you know, we'll have tomorrow off and then get back to work on Northwestern.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you guys.